dude in the park in Lincoln Terrace, they call him Beast. So they was like, yo, he do this move called the elevator. So I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what, he grabbing the elevators?
Yeah.
So he was like, nah, he grabbed the bar and then he threw. So Giant was talking to Jizz. So he was like, yo, you know, because he called me, we was like family. He's like, yo, my cousin, he could do the round the world pull-up. So he kind of glanced over, so he looked. He's like, no, he can't, he's too big.
Are doing push-ups. People are doing knee raises. People are doing pull-ups. And you got this thing, this technique where you would drop your weight on this person or hold their knees down with your forearm, or you know, you bear hug them to stop them from doing pull-ups. Like, what made you come up with that? Like, where did that style of training or that format come from?
They like, yeah, your body will squeeze through and you'll be able to snap it. I'm like, all right, let's see. Well, you might be starting off to where you're bigger. You have to find out all the different things that's going to have to come into play for you to get that goal. So it's like, you know what? If I want to be in the park, but I can't really do any of those type of moves, I have to start off with basics.
هذا حد العالم هذا طالب هذا راسخ والى
Calisthenics exposed.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. To all the Rip Right Hadith disciples, YouTubers, and viewers, welcome back to a new video on Rip Right HD. And today we out here with a legend, the big bro D300. Salute, man.
What's going on, Rip?
Yo, so I brought D300 out, man. So we want to talk about how he was able to accomplish the muscle up at 300 plus pounds. Also put on a weight vest that was 40 pounds and still do the muscle up, and his journey. So how did you start off in fitness, D3?
I started off and I started training around like 1997. So in 1997, you know, I was basically, it's like a whole learning process. So from like 97 to almost, I say like 1999, it was basically trying to become familiar with different aspects of training, learning how to lift weights. And I landed into one of my close friends. You know, a lot of people, some may know, some don't know. His name was Larry Williams. So he used to train like 3 o'clock in the morning. And a lot of people used to tell me, if you want to get serious about training, you know, go see him. So once I met him, he showed me he basically took me in and just showed me how to properly train. So from there, it was like, I trained with him from 97 to 2003. And then after that, it was basically, I was like on my own.
And what kind of training were you doing at that time?
It was mostly like free weights.
Free weights.
Free weights, you know, cable exercises, anything that basically considered like in the gym. But it wasn't so much like push-ups, pull-ups, and dips. Like he would do that, but that wasn't really my thing. My main thing was I wanted to learn how to lift. But then like around, I would say 2005, that's when things started to change because nobody even noticed. Like I think at the time I was 387 pounds. So then that's when I was lifting like my heaviest. But at 387, it kind of messes with your head a little bit because you like at 387, but yet I couldn't do a pull-up, I couldn't do a push-up, or I couldn't do a dip. So it was kind of challenging, man. And then I started getting around like different people, like my man Jizz. He was one of the first guys I seen like doing the whole calisthenic thing, like up close in person.
And he was also a weightlifter?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
But Jizz was way different because he was like, I think at the time, 180.
Oh yeah, he was a hybrid.
But he was deadlifting 7 and change, 800 pounds. You know, could do the same thing like a big dude could do. So it was kind of like different. Like I'm watching this and like, yo, man, that's cool. But then it was just like to the point, he'd be like, yo, man, let's go do some calisthenics. I'm like, I don't know about that, man.
Yeah, it was like a deterrent because you would have had to lift your body weight. So 387 you would say was your heaviest?
Correct.
Okay, and when was, you could remember the first time you hit about 300 pounds, meaning in body weight?
300 pounds came around the first time at, I say 2007.
All right, 2007. Okay, so you went from that field. What kind of got you into the calisthenics? So you was like, you know what? I'm gonna still do the weights because I love weights, but I want to try this Cali stuff out.
I mean, it's like you trying to answer those questions because you keep hearing them. Like, yeah, that dude big, man, but you know, he can't get on that bar. So it's like, okay, you know, I gotta kind of take this challenge because it kind of was like weird to me. Like, I could push all this weight, I can curl this, but then yet, if I have to do this, why is it so hard? Or if I have to do this, why is it so hard? And it just started to hit me, I'm not training for it. So it's like, let me just try to incorporate it in my training and just see what happens. So once I started to do it and playing around with it, it was like, all right, I'm kind of getting it. And, you know, Jizz, he would help me out. So it was going from 1 push-up to maybe 10 push-ups. 1 pull-up to like I could get like 6 pull-ups. And it just started to kind of rub off. And the more I got into it, it was like, okay, I'm starting to learn this. But then 2008 came around and I kind of like backtracked. I kind of took a break. So when you're taking a break, you get a little bit relaxed and I put that weight back on. So now my weight went back up to 340. That's when a lot of guys in the calisthenics game, that's when they first saw me. But then it was like nobody really knew what I can do. And I think this happened around, I say when I did, it was a move, I know you see it, like the around the world pull up. When you pull yourself like this,
yes.
and you go around the bar, I did that with Jizz. So he had recorded it and I was doing like the dips when I was pedaling at my feet. And Red, he had seen it. He was the first person.
Bandana.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Bandana. He was the first person to comment on the thing because I used to call myself Rockaway Parkway on YouTube. I ain't know nothing about, you know, you got to make up names and all this other stuff. So I had ran in the dock, and this had to be like maybe late 2007 before 2008. So when I got around Doc, it was just like I did something in front of him, and then he's looking like, yo, that's crazy. Like, do that again?
Let me get the camera out.
So I'm like, you know, I'm still not catching on to it. I'm like, all right, it's just, you know, push-up stuff. Like, if I see somebody do something, I can kind of imitate it. It's like, they're like, yo, that's crazy. And they capped up with the same thing. Yo, how much you weigh? Like, I don't want to give exact weight. I'm just like 300 pounds. So he's like, you sure? I was like, yeah. And then it was like, you know what, I didn't really get so much into it. But one person that made me kind of taking in the challenge away, and I'm not going to knock them, but like, bartenders that came to Wingate Park. And when they came to Wingate, I was basically sitting on the bench in the corner. So they had the first pull-up bar. It was a bar right here. So Giant was talking to Jizz. So he was like, yo, you know, because he called me, we was like family. He's like, yo, my cousin, he could do the round the world pull-up. So he kind of glanced over, so he looked. He's like, no, he can't, he's too big. So I didn't take it personal. So it's just like, all right, I get it. You know, you probably never seen nobody do that, so I just left it alone.
At that weight.
Then they had came out with a video. It was a DVD they put out, so it was a guy they had in there. I think he was 370-something pounds.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm watching this. They're like, oh, you know, nobody cracks the concrete like this, and nobody does this. So in my head, I'm like, it's kind of messing with me, because I'm like, if I'm, say, 330, 340, or 325, and this person is 370, I'm like, you didn't say he wasn't too big. So in my head, I'm thinking they saying I suck.
Yeah, so now it's a challenge.
So it wasn't really nothing, nothing personal against them, because I wasn't a person to just sit up there. My main thing was doing something with my actions. So I basically had to just study what was going on with calisthenics, because I saw like what everybody else was doing was something different. It wasn't the standard push-ups, it wasn't the standard pull-ups. It was all the different moves. So I'm like, all right, if I can't get on the bar, I'm gonna have to learn this somewhere. So I'm gonna have to start off in the ground. So once I started paying attention to how they was doing it, I'm like, yeah, let me see. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting it. So I'm like, everything is basically push,
exposure.
You time it. You push, you time it. You push, you time it. And once I did that, it was like, all right, let's rock and roll this.
Yeah, let's go.
So in a way, I kind of give credit to him a little bit, because if he didn't say that, I don't know if I would have pursued it like that.
Yeah, it was motivation for you.
So then it was like everybody started gravitating. They kept looking around and looking. It's like, yo, man, how much you weigh? How much you weigh? How much you weigh? I'm like, 300 pounds. Like, you sure? I was like, yeah.
Because the way you move, man.
So I kept doing it and doing it and doing it. Then it's like, you know what? This is getting somewhere. And that's when I started to where it's like, I had to keep explaining, like, you know, how much I weigh. That's when I was like, you know what? Yeah, what's your name? Yeah, my name is D. Yeah, how much you weigh? 300 pounds. D300.
That's a fact. All right, salute. Salute. All right, so now you got into, you started doing the push-ups. At this stage, when did you like meet Beast? Was that in the midst of you you know, accelerating with the push-ups, or was it before?
He saw it when I think this is when Doc had put up the video, the first video, the D300 Get Familiar. And but then when I had ran in the Beast and stuff, it was just, you know, I always would hear things because you hear about them like in Lincoln Terrorist Park, but you never know who, like, I'm not deep into this game
To see who he is.
fitness wise. It's like, oh, okay, but they be like, it's Jizz, another one, same thing. He was like, yo, it's a dude in the park in Lincoln Terrace, they call him Beast. So they was like, yo, he do this move called the elevator. So I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what, he grabbing the elevators?
Yeah.
So he's like, nah, he grabbed the bar and then he throws himself up there, and that's when I seen it in
The bartender's DVD.
video. So I'm like, I was like, you know what, that's cool, man. So I had reached out to him like, yo, man, what's up? You know, I want to come and meet you. And he was like, all right, you know, meet me over by Tompkins Park. Came over there to Tompkins Park, so I met him, and he looking like, yo, you're a big dude.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. So it's like, once I really got to see like how he trained and stuff, I was like, that's what's up. Because I don't really impress too easy, but I could tell if a person puts that work in or if they don't. And it's like, I would watch this guy and I'm watching this man do this stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And I would just sit back and laugh like, yeah, I wonder if I could try to do that. I'm like, nah, that's it's going to take some work to do that kind of stuff, man. But I used to applaud him, man. I see this dude doing rep after rep after rep. You know, that dip bar, rep after rep after rep. And then he'll go do all what they call the tricks or whatever people call them. He'll do that after he did all of these things.
Yes.
So I'm like, you know what? I remember one time we was out there, the first time I went to see him, we over there in the park. So it's like a thunderstorm. So he looking at me, I'm looking at him. Like, what you gonna do? Like, you gonna run? You gonna leave? And he like, I ain't leaving. We sitting there like
In the
like
middle of a storm.
like two wild dudes sitting up there, and it's pouring, and we sitting up there trying to do push-ups and stuff. Going back to my car, you got water squeaking in your sneakers and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was cool with him.
Great
man.
experience.
Because he's one of the people I can honestly say, man, that man, he has extraordinary talent.
Without a doubt. Salute Beast, man. So a lot of people, like, when they see D300, they consider you beast mode. Were you officially, or
No, I was always just D300.
300? You just used to train with beast mode.
Because I was with everybody. You know, I never had, you know,
A team.
Like on beast mode, on Wingate. It's just, I was with everybody. Whoever I wanted to be around, I was with them. I was more like neutral. Because a lot of times, like coming up, you know, sometimes guys be like, you know, well, we only do calisthenics, we don't do weights. And I'm like, I do both.
Yes.
So I can't put myself in a bracket to where I'm like, I'm with this team or with this team or with this team, because I didn't really meet people like that. I'm like, I met y'all as individuals. I didn't know what team y'all was with. I'm like, all this team stuff is just different to me. I'm like, this is way different from the gym.
Yeah.
You know, if I see you in the gym, it's like, yo, what up, Rip? Not, yo, this is Rip, and he's a part of this team, and like,
Yeah.
yo, this is this dude, and he's a part of this team. I'm like, what is this, the Olympics?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, if I know you, I know you. So
Yeah.
you be like, yo, D, man, you want to come out here? Yo, you can show me something? All right, I'll be out there. Yo,
Gotcha.
D, you want to come to this park? You show me something? All right, I'll be out there. It wasn't like I'm limited, like I'm crossing the border, like, nah, I can't go there.
Yeah.
Because I don't wear the same shirt. I ain't
Got
do that.
you.
Like, wherever I wanted to go, I went. That's what I said. I know almost everybody in this game.
Without a doubt. Salute, salute. So when did you start your journey Because you basically started your journey for the muscle up from the beginning once you started doing pull-ups, knowingly or unknowingly. But when did you say, yo, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that muscle up.
2009.
2009.
2009. Because it was almost like I had the ground game going, learning like different styles of pull-ups and stuff on the bar. But it was like, yo, D, if you could do that,
It's
that'd
over.
be crazy. But then some people kept saying it, and I'm like, you saying it, but are you saying it because you think I can't get it? Or are you saying it because you want me to get it? So it was like a half and half. And then I'm just sitting up there like, yo, how I'm going to get it? Because I'm like, for me to get it, I'm going to have to really, because a lot of times guys would be like, yo, just get on the bar, just do this, or just try to do this. I'm like, it's different. I'm like, you got to remember, I'm 300 pounds trying to do this. It's not the same thing like if you're 180 or if you're 220. I'm like, I got to do this at 300 pounds. And then like 2009, that's when it was like that, I say 320-ish. I'm like, I got to drop this 20 pounds and get the 300 even. Like, I went hard for that, man. Like, I was training at least 3 times a day. Like going cycle trying to get this move. So it's like certain exercises I had to do, heavy pullovers, dumbbell pullovers, heavy pull downs, heavy front raises on barbell, heavy front raises with the dumbbells. And then it was just certain moves I would do, like the lat pull down machine, I would just stand there. So when I would stand there, I would just pull it down like this, and I would just push it down like this to become accustomed with trying to push down that weight. Because once I'm on the bar, I can't simulate the weight like I do in the gym. I can't just go, all right, I'm 300 pounds, you know what, let me
290.
be 150.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So I kept doing it. And then one day, I went to see Beast. This is around 2010. I seen him at Tompkins Park, so it was him, I think Drea, and Trump. So I'm just standing there, and you know, their bars are low. So I'm messing around like, let me see if I can do this. And I just snatched myself, and my hand slipped off the bar. So I caught it, so now I started doing abs up in the air. He's seen it, but then in my head, I'm like, yo, I got up here. I'm like, all right, I think I could do it. So I had called Armstrong and Narrows, and we went to Bay Parkway. And he was like, it was just tough trying to catch it with the regular bar, because I'm like, yo, I keep hitting my chest here, like, how can I get over? They like, yo, do it right here on the curve bar. So they like, yeah, your body will squeeze through and you'll be able to snap it. I'm like, all right, let's see. So when you saw in the video, I put my hand up there and I got over. I was like, oh man. And that changed everything.
First muscle up in Bay Parkway. No longer there, huh?
Nah.
Your first muscle up. That park is definitely legendary. So you started training 2009 for it, and then you actually did it in 2009.
No, I get it in 2010.
Okay, you got it the following year.
Because I say that winter of 2009 all the way, and I end up catching it like early summer in 2010. Because I had to really get my conditioning, everything all in one. Because I'm like, if I'm gonna perform this, I gotta make sure my body is conditioned. So that's when people started looking, it's like you looking at me, you saw my face was smaller, but they still don't know I'm 300 pounds. I just dropped that weight. They like, yo, you still 300 pounds? Like, yeah. Like, trust me. I made sure I stepped on that scale, dogs. I wasn't playing.
Yeah, because it was about 340.
Because once I got on there, and then once I caught that muscle up, it was like, all right, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, I'm in.
Then I just kept doing it. And a few times, the most I caught was between like 10 and 12.
Nice.
And that was the most. And then when I did the other one, the weighted vest one, this was 2016. And by then, it wasn't like I was practicing muscle ups all the time, but I was still training.
Yeah, so you had that muscle memory to actually pull that extra, what was it, 40 pounds?
40-pound weight vest. Because the first time I was going to try with the 70 pounds, and I got it to like up the head, but I didn't get over. So I'm like, all right, let's just do it with the 40 pounds. Because to me, it's like, The muscle up to me is like a reverse power clean. So instead of me doing this, I'm just doing this. And that's how I put it in my head. So it's like I have to power up for those moves. So I'm like, if I look at certain moves, it's like, all right, this is a heavy movement. So I gotta snatch myself up and get up there. And then once I did that, it was like, you know, people seen it. But I ain't really get too much credit.
Yeah, the crowd didn't go wild. You know, Armstrong Beast. That's about it, right? Limited to 2 guys. All right, so I see in a lot of your videos, you know, people are doing push-ups. People are doing knee raises. People are doing pull-ups. And you got this thing, this technique where you would drop your weight on this person or hold their knees down with your forearm, or, you know, you bear hug them to stop them from doing pull-ups. Like, what made you come up with that? Like, where did that style of training or that format come from?
It was just certain things like just being creative. And I got a lot of that just being within the gym. Because, like, if I'm in the park and I'm training somebody, it's like I can't really keep putting a weight belt on you, taking the weight belt off. So it's like I have to try to find a way to where I can build some type of resistance. So if I told you, like, to get on the bar and you're doing 10 reps on pull-ups, if I want to make the last 5, if I want that to be heavy, I'll just wrap you and just pull and just give you a certain amount of pressure. So if I'm pulling like this and I'm just pulling down, I can tell by the way you're pulling up how much resistance I'm supposed to put on it and how much I'm supposed to take off.
Got you.
So it made it a lot better because now I could just release. You can go back into it. If I'm still seeing your body just constantly moving like this, we'll go back to that. So now you're just learning how to constantly pull
With that weight.
Yeah, so it's the same thing with the push-ups. They're like, well, how can you do this? I'm like, there's 2 different ways. Either I can put my knee on your back or I just put my hands on your back. So now if I put my hands on your back and I push down, you're still feeling that resistance while you're pushing up. And then I could just lighten up. If I feel like the body is just going like this and you're not really moving, I could just take it off. Instead of me just constantly putting on a plate, taking a plate off, putting on a plate, taking it off. So it's just something like I just came up with to make it a lot easier.
A lot faster, convenient.
But you gotta remember too, everybody ain't D300. When they start putting that pressure on, putting that pressure on your back, it's different.
Yeah.
So if I put it on there, like, you're gonna feel it.
Yeah, that's definitely 300 pounds. Okay, so y'all guys know I do a lot of D300 routines, right? Ever since we met, I took a lot from him. Salute to D300. Now, as far as that, we have a thing where he makes you slow drag.
Okay, that's 5. Now give me 5 slow drag pull-ups. There you go. Love to volunteer.
Slow.
Hey.
Speeding ticket.
Slow drag. Take your time.
Not too fast.
Take your time. It's like the Matrix. Take your time.
And fast drag and, you know, in between. Where did that come from? When we say slow drag, can you kind of explain it?
Slow drag exercises were to make, it's like to make something like extremely hard, but to put you in, like, say if you're on the bench or you're just doing a certain amount of reps. Every time you get to that failure state, your body starts to do this.
Slow.
You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times, if you start doing this, you feel uncomfortable. So you really don't understand how to handle it. Same thing if you're on a bar. If you're pulling like this and you moving, once you get to like this and you start
slow dragging,
like you really don't have that in your head, it starts making you feel uncomfortable. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna incorporate these exercises to show you how to feel comfortable. It might be hard, but then at the same time, you're not going to go into panic mode. So if you're just sitting up there pushing, I'm like, yo, you have to basically push yourself up as slow as you can, and you have to lower yourself as slow as you can. Because a lot of times it might mess with your psyche because the numbers start to go down. So if you're doing 80 push-ups in a row, you try doing those slow drags. You might only get 20 or 10 if you do it properly. So to keep doing that over and over and making it harder, it's better. Because now if I tell you to do those regular reps, you're like, oh, this is nothing. So it's like I had to keep making certain things harder. So if I make it harder, your improvement skyrockets. Because a lot of people are not going to keep doing those slow drags like that until their training routine. They might do it here and there, but they're not doing it all the time. Or they'll say, hey, I'll do 5 slow drags and then other reps. No, if you got to do 10 slow drags, you do 10 of them. If you have to do 20, you do 20. The main focus is your performance. Because if you're going to go hard with that, you got to remember, if you want to improve something, or if you want to beat your competition, or you want to be the best, you just going to have to train certain ways. And that was something that I used to like, because it's like as soon as I call out that slow drag, people just going to this, oh, D, come on, man, slow drags? Yeah, you got to do them.
Yeah.
Because I could do it with any exercise. If you're doing lunges, if you're doing squats, if you're doing pull-ups, push-ups, bench press, if I tell you slow drag it, it's like, all right, now we're going to see how bad you want it. Because everybody wants something when it feels comfortable.
Exactly.
But if it gets a little uncomfortable, it's like, I don't know if I want to do this. Because they'll do it if I'm there. But if I tell you, yo, do it by yourself.
Now it becomes hard.
Now it's like, hey, D said do 30, I'll do 6. He might not find out. I don't know. Because if I look at you, it's like, yo, show me something. And I can tell if you did it. And I can tell if you didn't do it. So that's the main thing of the slow drag, was basically if you wanted to improve and you want to get to a place to where it's like, I need to get my performance up here. Do those slow drags with whatever you do. If you're doing dumbbell curls, same thing. Drag them up, drag it down. But I ain't talking about like this. I mean slow drag. You know what I'm saying? It takes time, but like I said, you'll focus on improving. Not focus on, well, I just want to look cute for a camera. Nah. Because if you start doing certain things like that, that's when you start to separate yourself from everybody else. That's why I incorporated that, because it's like, all right, if I could do this, because I used to do it even on bench pressing. Sometimes guys be like, yo, we're going to bench. Let's get it up to 500, 600 pounds. All right, let's do 200. 200, that ain't nothing, D. Slow drag it.
Different ball game. It's like almost like isometrics with movement. Okay, before we close out, right, we want to talk a little bit about the company that actually sponsors you, right? Major company. You could give us like a little breakdown on how that works.
Well, with purchasewinmoney.com, they're basically like a major company. It's like they do like raffles, they sell like tissue, face masks, everything of that nature. So the main thing is they sponsor me as far as like, well, anything I'm doing as far as challenges, like creating like a major website, anything that I'd say like I want to do, they have me 100%. So right now it's just an up and coming company, but within I say at least a month, you will really know who this company is.
Got you. And when you say purchase, win money, how does that work? What?
It's almost like certain things, like if you having like raffles or challenges, it's like.
So if I go on that website and I purchase something, I'm actually in a raffle.
Yeah, you have a way of basically just buying one item, and that item can basically win you money.
Got you. Okay, and they do that what, like once a month? They
basically every week.
Okay. So I could probably buy some tissue this week, and then I'll be in a raffle, and if my name pops at the end of the week, I'm gonna win money.
And you don't even have to even buy that certain amount. Whether it's one roll, one face mask, everything. And then a percentage of money also get donated to certain charities and certain foundations.
Got you. Yo, also now, before we close out, D, because if you could do it, right, anybody can do it, especially with the muscle up and things like that, being 300 pounds. What could you offer the viewers, people just coming up into calisthenics and somebody that's trying to attain that elite level?
Meaning what, basically?
Like with calisthenics, somebody that's just beginning and they want to attain a level of beast, like they like, how would they go about that? Like, you know?
Well, if you're talking about a level like that, that's going to take basically a high dedication.
High dedication.
I mean, you got to look at it from each individual, whether it's calisthenics, whether it's CrossFit, powerlifting, whatever. Each individual is going to start from a certain point. You have to basically look and set your goals and figure out who do you want to be. You know, what are your goals and what you want to achieve? Because fitness is just, it's like way beyond just a person going into a park or going into a gym. Each individual has a certain lifestyle. This person might be employed, this person might be unemployed. This person has a family, this person is basically single. So all these different things come into perspective with this. So it's like if I'm in their shoes and I'm sitting home, it's like, you know what? I like this guy right here. This is somebody that I want to try to be like. Now you have to see where do you fit in that. Because your body types might be different. You might be starting off, you're a lot smaller, or you might be starting off to where you're bigger. You have to find out all the different things that's going to have to come into play for you to get that goal. So it's like, you know what, if I want to be in the park, but I can't really do any of those type of moves, I have to start off with basics. So your main thing is learn all your basics first and see where you stand. If it's getting into a park, see where you stand. But take your time. So if you're going into a park, say Monday, see how you feel doing push-ups. But learn how to do the proper form. Because form is always going to matter. Go into the park the next day, try to do pull-ups, see where you stand. Then you have to see, like, how comfortable are you going to be? Because I could tell anybody, yo, man, I want to do calisthenics. Okay, I have to see you. I have to see you, and I have to basically see where we can go from here. But I'll tell you what, for me to make it easy for you, I'm going to come out with a website. I'll come out with a major tutorial website, and I'll show each and every single person, every single move from a beginner to an advanced.
Got it.
And all you have to do with certain things is very simple. I'll tell you which moves to put together if your body type looks like this. If your body type look like this is the moves you should be following. If your determination level is like this is what you should follow. Because everybody can't just go into a park and I tell you, hey, do 20 push-ups. It don't work like that. Because now if they're struggling doing 5, are you going to come back tomorrow? Because you might see people go into a park and they get starstruck, like, if it's a lot of people there, I don't know if I want to really be here. Like, I feel comfortable if nobody's here.
Yeah.
But if there's people here, I don't really feel too comfortable. All these things come into play. Like, it's easy somebody sit there like, yo, you want to improve? Do 20 pull-ups a day and you're going to be the best of the best. It's not that simple.
For real.
So that's what I said. I'll come out with something major for people to really sit back and look at. And like I said, I'm going to make sure I change this game. And it's
Bar
not
changer.
just calisthenics. It's not just fitness or powerlifting. I'm basically going to give each and every single person, I am going to give you everything that's inside here. I'm going to give it to you.
Yo, guys, you heard that. So stay tuned, guys. Stay ripped. Yo, more to come. D300, you know this is gonna be Team Rips Right. we're taking all the training. You hear me? We're taking all the training and we come in and we playing for keeps, man. Stay tuned. Stay ripped. Salute on D300. We appreciate you, man.
Anytime.
The Rip Stick is a powerful little tool that fits right in your pocket. You can use it anywhere, home, gym, or even on the go. It's designed to target your smaller, stabilizing muscles that calisthenics and weightlifting usually miss. Great for shoulder rehab, injury prevention, and full upper body activation. It's super convenient, affordable, and also hits your abs hard. Whether you're a beginner or advanced, the Rip Stick takes your training to the next level.